Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the What the Football channel. Again, this is the BH and Scrubber Show. We are Commanders fans, and we just had our recent preseason game against the Ravens. All of that looked really, really good, and that's what we're here to talk about today. Welcome, BH.
Hey, man. Good to be here. Yeah, we broke the streak. We were talking about it on the last show. It was pretty cool the way we did it. Proud of those guys at the end. Fromm did a great job. It wasn't easy. He got knocked around a bit, and they chased him around, but he never gave up, man. And Joey Sly kicked it through. So it was a lot of fun, and everyone seemed pretty excited and happy.
I was really excited.
I
Great
liked
game.
it. Yeah. So it was good. I just thought overall, just watching the team and the stars, before he got hurt, Terry was looking great. Jahan Dotson is just an absolute star in the making. Everyone just seems to be, especially on the offensive side of the ball, because it's such a new system, but everyone seems to be growing into it. You got Cole Turner.
Yeah.
The running backs are looking good.
Mm-hmm.
The receivers obviously are looking good. And Sam Howell just has been a revelation. Now the whole league is talking about him. We were talking about him. And no one, I'm not saying Commanders fans weren't, but man, around the league, they were just shaking their heads. Like, what are you guys doing? They kept saying, he's a fifth round pick. It's like, oh my God, man, go watch the film, go watch the kid play, cut it out. So he did really good. Yeah, I know. Yeah. And then the national media, they just ghost us completely, So, it was pretty good. I did see, a good thing that was kind of interesting is they got the starters in there and it kind of pulled them out, after the first quarter, but they kind of let Jamin and Cody Barton play quite a bit into the game. And Coach Rivera just said, hey, we just got a good chance to let those two work together more because they have to work off each other, just because of those, two linebacker sets, basically. He wanted to let those two go in there and just kind of work together. And so I'm kind of interested to see what will happen. I like Cody Barton. I like Jamin. I don't know if there's a lot of upside there. These guys, I don't see anything where, one or two of these guys are going to explode. They're going to hit their ceiling this year. Maybe not. Maybe they'll just be, good, solid linebackers. And for me, the way our D-line's playing, the way our DBs are playing, solid play at the linebacker is okay. I can take it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
That's fine by me. But hey, you know what? Maybe there's some upside. Maybe those two as a team playing together, they can really work together. They can communicate and do some special stuff. I mean, man, Cody's been around, but he hasn't played a lot. But he's seen it all. He's been in every darn meeting for all these years, so he knows what's going on. This is Jamin's third year in our system. Same system. We don't have a new defensive coordinator. He's not learning anything new. So, who knows? Maybe just as a whole and taking Kaliki Hudson, David Mayo, Milo Weifler, maybe that linebacker room can kick it up a notch.
Yeah. I think some of what was going on with Jamin is he did have that little bit of surgery, so he hasn't been in a lot of the practicing OTAs and all that kind of stuff. So he hasn't been fully participating, and but he was in the game for a while. I've seen his name a few times when I was calling the game. Cody's not so much. But they were in there doing that. If you don't hear too much from them, sometimes that's a good thing too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him. I thought the game went really well. I thought I'm glad Sam Howell played for a full half. I'm all for that kind of stuff. We talked about it. He needs to get reps. Reps are reps. I don't care if you're playing against the other team's number twos or not. You still need reps.
Yeah.
You still need to run the format. You still need to run the scheme. You got to know what you're doing out there. I thought the front line did really good, even though most of the time it was all the seconds. It was, Wiley was out after the first set of downs, and that other joker sat in for him and did really good. Stromberg was in there for a while. I think it was Cornelius Lucas was out there for a lot of it.
I think Cornelius took over. He took over for Wiley. And Stromberg did some guard work.
Mm-hmm. And probably
they're
Chris
trying to get him to
Paul
do
and
some.
Chris
Yeah,
Paul and somebody else were probably there in the left guard. So I thought they did a real good
yeah,
job of. You could see when I went back and watched some of it, there's nice pockets. Thought Sam had plenty of time. I thought their scheming looked good. They do a lot of that over the middle stuff where it's just like a light, the guy just light wash over the middle and looking for that open guy while the ends run out. So we were picking up lots of 11, 12, 13-yard gains. The running game looked really good too. I felt like the only lacking part in our offense was some of what was supposed to be brought to the offense is our screenplays. So fairly lacking there, but that's probably something they're working on. Maybe you can't start scheming them real well until you get the basics down and then start getting guys out in space, especially the front line needs to be able to get out in
yes,
space for those kinds of things. They need to know where they need to go and get the screen set up. So other than that, I
yeah.
thought the
I'm
guys
glad you
looked
brought
really,
that
really
up.
good. Yeah, thank you.
They did, and the offensive line, especially because it did a little bit of mayhem in the Cleveland game.
Hmm.
It didn't look like they were two working together, and I think basically what I'm hearing is that yeah, they're going to really hit it now. I mean, they've been working on the new offense, but I mean, they kind of went kind of vanilla, didn't show a whole lot, I think, and they are still kind of working to develop that stuff. But I guess now they're really going to, these practices from now to the first game are just implementing the new offense
Mm-hmm.
as a
Mm-hmm.
whole, running all those plays, running all that. Not they haven't been running them, but now they're in private. There's no fans. They're going to go in and then really go in. And then I guess also as they get closer, they'll game plan it and detail it specifically to Arizona. But yeah, I think they're going to put in and implement a lot more stuff because the RPO stuff wasn't. They didn't really do a lot of RPO. It was almost a little old school. Howell at the center, back play action, throw. Not really that whole. You know what I mean? In the shotgun, RPO, pull the ball back,
Right.
throw. Yeah, but I did but yeah, so I think we're going to see more of that, and that's kind of smart. You don't want to throw a whole playbook of a whole new system to the guys because I've read stories of some of these mastermind Andy Reid, even John Gruden types, that they feed them the book a little at a time, and maybe in the first season they don't
Right.
get it. Then the next year they add more, because it's so all these read and reacts, you'll just kill guys. And I don't mind a simplified thing because even though something's simple, if you execute it the right way, you can just torch people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be good to see how that goes. I forgot to send you. I saw a pretty good, and I think you've seen this guy. I forget his name. I saw a good breakdown of how short and sweet a guy from that game, and he did the good and the not so good. And there was nothing horrible, but how just things he did better. He made a one boneheaded mistake. He did miss a hot read. You talked
Yeah,
about that,
I did.
where
Yeah.
there was just a guy was coming, and then poor, Charles Leno had to pick one or the other guy,
Mm-hmm.
and there was no tight end over there. There's no running back over there. And Leno picked the inside rusher. The outside guy came around. Sam kind of panicked. He could have got it off to Dotson quickly, and he got hit.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, this guy was really impressed. His reads were good. He showed how the reads are. You got one of two things or one of three things. These are your choices. And as the play develops or pre-snap, you see things. And he really pointed out that Sam really gets it. He
Yeah.
knew he takes his first read. It's not there. His second read, boom, he hits the guy. Showed him throw guys open, which I thought was really good. In other words, it was like the play took longer to develop, and he didn't get his first two reads. There was a play to Jahan Dotson, and he just threw to the open space. Jahan had run his route, but he had stopped, and then Jahan just jumped right back into space and caught it. He knew enough just to throw to the open space. Then you trust your receiver to know he has to see the open space, and great communication. So anyway,
Yeah.
I think it's great, but I think it does seem pretty vanilla offense right now.
Yeah. I think
So
what they do is they build off that vanilla offense. So you want all your looks to look the same. And so you got to establish that first, and then how you play off it. You want to give that same look all the time and then do something different from that look. So you have to establish that base first and get that going and then work from there. So yeah, I think that guy's a quarterback school guy. He's really good. I like him. So
Yeah.
yeah, I thought our
Yep.
defense did really good, even though it was a lot of our twos in there and threes in there. I felt like tackling technique, that's one of my pet peeves. You know that. These guys are just running right by them, getting burned, just standing there, with their ankles broken. And you're like, come on, dude. And wasn't anything where like we used to have problems with our guys just throwing the shoulder at somebody like that's going to take somebody out. It was different than that. It just seemed not to. Now Forbes made a couple good tackles. He understands that. Wrap your arms around them. You can't wait too long, and you can't. Oh, it looked like they were overrunning the runner, like trying to anticipate where they were going to be, and the runner just jukes them. So I felt tackling technique was a little slack. We were getting burned on some runs by them guys. They torched us that first set of downs.
They did.
They really did. They just ran down the field and got us. And yeah, other than that, I thought the defense looked good. Jartavius Martin got the interception. That little bobble in the end zone was nice. What else? Did we get a fumble recovery or something? Maybe a couple.
Not in this one. I thought on the
No.
Cleveland game we did
Oh,
got a
that's
fumble
right.
and an interception.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jartavius, he had a bit of a bounce back game. Coach Jack Del Rio did say that he's got a full plate and that he's fine. He's okay with it. But and we talked about that last week, but because he's going to be doing a lot of that safety up on the line, maybe some Buffalo nickel, and that's what he did in college. But he's learning this scheme, these calls. He's got to learn to gel with the guys around him. He's got to react to calls. From Cody Barton's going to make calls. He's got to think, what's that? He can't wait. I think he's got a pretty full plate having to cover all those positions. But coach said, and this is what I read about Martin. Everything they said about him, he's just a stellar guy, not a crybaby. Yeah, it's tough. He's football, he's business, so it's no big thing for him. And even if he makes a mistake, it's like, he just moves on. He learns and he keeps going.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I like it, man. I like what he does. I like the fact that he's working hard. It's such an important thing. And, you talked about it, right? Like you can't, like you run plays on offense out of, a set, and you can run a bunch of different ones because you don't want to give something away. If you run the same different plays out of different sets, guys, makes it kind of easy. It's kind of the same with the defense.
Yes. Yes, our defense the same way. Set up, giving them the zone look, and it's a man look or one of them half man looks kinds of things. Yeah, you can't give it away too much. And I think Bieniemy hopefully can work on some of that screen stuff too. Start plugging in those plays and getting that going. I'm always a little leery about if you can't run screens, you can't run screens. So stay the fuck away from them unless you're a team that really knows how to get that done. It's nothing but tragedy in the long run. So
yeah, and we got a really good guy in Antonio Gibson. If you're going to throw some screens, that's a guy. And then also you can do those receiver screens. We do have 3 really quick receivers. We don't have any, we do not have any of those Mike Evans, 6'4", 225-pound big guys. Our guys are kind of on smaller, quicker route runners. So that's a good way to, like we said, Bieniemy likes to develop screens, not just throw a screen, develop it. So you put a guy in a position, and our guys can all catch those quick screens. Our receivers can come off the line, catch it and go. All of them have that in them.
Yeah.
And so it's just scheming them to a certain part of the line where you get the matchup you want. And so that'll be kind of fun. And Gibson, I think right now, man, it looks like the running back touches could be 50-50 at the end of a game right now between B-Rob and Gibson, don't you think?
Yeah, it could be. That the first game was a good mix of runs and passes, but this game looked like a lot of passes.
It did.
It was a lot. So I think it was heavy on the pass. I think we were trying to come back at a couple different points, trying to score some points. So I think we had to muster ourselves on down the field. Yeah, I'd like to see us split up Cole Turner looked good out there. Okay, he's really good
Man.
for us. I think Sam feels real comfortable with him. He feels comfortable with Jahan. Definitely was Samuel looked good out there. Our boy Terry, he took the toe, but he's all right. If he ain't, we got the next guy up. So I think Dax
Yeah.
Milne, I got a groin injury or something, so that doesn't look good for him. So if there's anybody waiting to pick up a spot and he's not able to do it, it'll be one of them. It might be Kaiser Allen, some of these guys, Tremaine, any of them guys that are waiting
Yeah.
in the wings if he doesn't pull out of that. So yeah,
Yeah.
fun stuff.
There's the two receivers that we picked up, the Kansas City guys that came into camp, Byron
Pringle.
Pringle. Yeah,
Mhm.
a guy like that, he's fine. We saw him. I mean, he made a hell of a catch in that Cleveland game. So, and he's a veteran, so he can go in and fill in, and talk about a guy that knows the scheme and the system. He'll lock right in. So it's good to have those guys. Yeah, I mean Terry. I mean, there's still 2 more weeks, man,
Yeah.
before he's got to even play. I say put him in a boot, let him walk around. There's a guy that knows what he's doing.
Yep.
So I know there's other ones. Coach still stuck to his theory, even with Terry and Logan Thomas, even Dax. He stuck to his thing that he feels like these guys are all on track to be available. Now you never know what happens, but he didn't feel like any of them were longer term at this point.
Right.
As far as injury rehab.
All right, we're looking at a little over 2 weeks at this point. So that's plenty of time for them to sit and rest and participate a little bit here and there. So Logan Thomas and Dax and Chase Young with his stinger. Riley had the calf thing. That might still be bothering him. Jamin Davis with his recent surgery. Terry McLaurin. That's about all. Jonathan Allen's dealing with a plantar's thing, whatever that is, on his foot. I know those are painful, hard to work through. So he's a big man, and that's over 200 pounds walking around on that thing. So that must hurt. So hopefully he's going to be all right. I know we got rid of they brought in a punter for like this game, and he's gone again already. But they brought in a couple defensive tackles. They're just bringing people in, I guess, as just in cases, just to look at them. So, but I think everybody's going to be all right by the time the first game comes. Yeah. And thankfully, that first game is at home, so we don't have to go anywhere from here on out. And it's, I don't want to downplay any football team, but it is against the Cardinals. And, they got to travel. And, they're a little beat up as a team and probably on the rebuild and all that kind of stuff. So let's hope that works out in our favor as well. So,
yeah, I like starting off a game like that, season like that, especially if you got your head in the game and you're not overlooking them. It's like, college, some of these college teams, man. I mean, Alabama, those SEC teams, they just every week is murderer's row. And then they always start off with, South Carolina, Polytechnical Institute, like they had a flag team 3 years ago and they beat them 58-0. But you know what? I don't care, man. It's good because your guys can go out there and play football. You can execute. You don't have to beat your head in the ground, and So for us, I think we kind of got the same thing. We got a team that's a little on the struggling side. They got a bad offensive line. So I don't want to jinx us because, hey, like they say, on any given Sunday, anything can happen. But they, and that's one thing. If your offensive line's struggling, you don't want to play the Commanders. There might be other areas on our team that you can take advantage of, but that ain't one of them, man. Yeah. So that's man, we're looking at a couple of weeks for that. So
and the Bengals this weekend.
This weekend, the Bengals, and that's going to be both teams, a lot of backups. So that'll be interesting just to see who, I'll watch it. if I got some time, I'm busy. I'm doing another move this weekend. So, oh my God, crazy. But I want to check out some, but there's some guys fighting for those last positions. So, I want to see those DBs and wide receivers, who's going to be the final cut there. Final cut. There might be one position on the offensive line. You got the guy with Braden Daniels that we drafted, and so I mean they're pretty set even on the first guys, but they're going to carry probably 9 or 10. So I want to see who the last guy in is.
Yeah, coach likes 10. I've heard him say it before. if they're good enough, or if Sadiq is doing his Sadiq thing, you might want to keep 10
Yeah.
instead of 9. If Sadiq was totally healthy, well, you go with 9. But there's a couple other places in there where there's some play. Do you keep Alex Armagh? Do you keep one more receiver? That kind of stuff. So we'll see. I'm happy with it
Yeah.
all.
You know, Armagh, yeah, Armagh could be, because if he's good on special teams, it depends on the health. If all the tight ends are healthy, that kind of hurts Armagh a little bit. Like if the tight ends are all really healthy, maybe. And the word is that they're really working Stromberg at guard.
Mm.
I think they think of him as a center, going forward too, but they wanted him to play some guard and they liked what they saw. So then, maybe then if he looks good and could be a potential backup or like in-game guy to come in and just back up for a while, maybe you can go 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you got a center guard.
Yeah.
Maybe you let Larson, maybe they move on from Larson or something. I don't know. I don't think they would put Ricky on the practice squad. He'd get picked up.
Right. You got to be careful who you put out there. You can protect certain people for a small amount of time, but I like Alex Armagh because, God, I wish people would use the fullback more, because he could do fullback and he can do tight end. And if he can do a little bit of special teams, well, then he could do something. So I know he did play in the game a little bit.
He did.
So I'd like to see. I really like a run fullback. Run him through the line first and send your running back after him. So, but yeah, we'll see. I won't be calling the game. I'm going to be out of town. I'm going on vacation, so I'm going to Seattle and go hang out for about 10 days. So we, as What the Football BH and Scrubber Show, won't be back for almost 2 weeks to the day.
Yeah,
it'll be a Thursday right before that Cardinals game. So.
Yeah, so we'll do our regular weekly pregame just like usual. Kind of things worked out good for us, man. I'm in the middle of a move. You got a vacation, so the timing's perfect.
Yeah.
Just before, so and we'll be able to talk too about that final roster, which won't be much of a surprise. Let's be honest, pretty strong. We pretty much know who's going to make it. But this Tuesday, right, is the cuts.
Right, Tuesday is the cuts.
So that'll be interesting. Everybody look out for that. That'll be fun to watch. You can, they'll post who the final roster, but then also they do the practice squad. So everyone's got to get sent through waivers first. So just because you put everyone out on waivers, if they clear waivers, and you start dragging them in, and teams are looking at everyone too. We're doing it. Other teams are doing it. Who did they put on waivers? You're kind of waiting. Who did they put out there? And you might see us. We might snag someone off of there might be someone we're eyeballing, and they put them on waivers, and we'll grab them. You never know. It could happen. So that's always fun. I always think that's very interesting to see if you're able to pull, because if you go out and pull someone off another team's waiver wire, if they, in other words, if they put him out there and he's on the waiver wire getting ready to go back, like 99% of the guys go to the practice squad, but if you go out and pick up a guy, man, that means you want him, because I think you have to keep him on your roster.
Got to put him on the roster.
So, so that means you're sort of, you're committed to that guy if you do go do that. So kind of like, I think that's how we got our big guy Ridgeway.
Yeah.
I mean, we picked him up off of waivers. Yeah, we picked him off waivers. We dropped somebody, I forget who, or kicked someone to the practice squad, put him on the roster. We felt strongly about him. That was worth getting. So, all right, man. Well, what can I say?
That's about it. Yeah, our team is great, man. They look really, really good. So, yeah. You're doing good when the mainstreams are jumping on it. They must just be hard up for something to talk about. But it's a good story. You know what I mean? It behooves them to talk well of us because they got a product to sell. The NFL is their tit. And if you want to suck off that tit, boy, you better fucking pump it up. So, and that's a good story to go with. New owner,
better.
It's job security when they pump something like that up, and it's a good story coming out of this team from the, from what was going on before. So, yeah, good stuff.
It is, yeah. New hope with the new quarterback. So, yeah, new offensive coordinator. Got a super strong D that's just that knows the system, knows the scheme. It
Mhm.
it all bodes well. Very exciting. So,
Yeah.
all right, man. Well, look, you have a good time off. You've been working hard. You deserve it.
Yeah.
And I'll see you on the other side. And hope everybody show up in 2 weeks. Check it out. Who knows, man? We might live stream it.
Yeah. That sounds good to me.
What the heck?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
sounds
we could
good,
just
man.
live stream and have people come into the live stream for our pregame, and then get people in there in the comment section chatting away.
We can do it.
Why
Thanks,
not?
everybody.
All right. See you, everybody.